of people aboard a plane. So let me continue. You remember I was telling you all that Leroy Batista is going, or he has went, or he had gone to a government department and was basically, it was a UNC political campaign which was giving them, basically saying if they vote for UNC, that and hold their belly, public also must hold on until next year goes be after the election, because they should vote UNC. UNC, they would say they will give them 10% for the period 14, 16, and 17, 19. And probably a lot of people didn't believe what I was saying. However, it was interesting that I saw this from the chairman and analyst, Neil Pasanal, condemning PSA politicking at meeting with staff. You see, when people don't act on things, the General Council PSA say nothing, the conference of delegate of PSA say nothing. But what out there does have to come out. So as chairman of the board of the National Library and Information System Authority, NALIS, that is Neil Pasanal speaking, I condemn in the strongest manner possible the politicization of bilateral talks between the authority staff and the represented majority union, the Public Services Association. I'm advised that at a meeting between the PSA and staff on Tuesday, the 17th of December 2024, at the National Library building, PSA President Leroy Batiste, in advising staff to reject the Chief Personnel Officer CPO offer, inserted into his presentation the rationale for rejection being the promise of the United National Congress, should it be successful in the next general election, to reverse the CPO's offer and replace it with a more attractive option. This is absolutely improper on a number of levels. Firstly, the premises of knowledge should not be used by any entity, not least of all a trade union leader, to campaign for a political party or for his or her own political career. Secondly, the authority also maintain an apolitical position in its communication to staff. Thirdly, the PSA recognition as the RMU, that's Recognized Majority Union, for the staff of the authority began in September 2016, and therefore it has no locus standi in any interaction between the CPO and the authority for any prior period. As chairman, I will continue to advocate in the appropriate forum for what I believe to be deserving of the authority staff. I have complete faith in NALIS executive to efficiently execute its mandate and to call on PSA and NALIS Joint Consultative Committee, that is JCC staff side, representatives to cease and desist from political campaigning on the authority's premises. I have advocated relentlessly for our libraries to remain neutral spaces, to be utilized in the pursuit of excellence and empowerment for all our citizens. And NALIS iconic National Library building in Port of Spain will be no exception. Probably they will listen to him, because that's exactly what I was warning people, that he's going around to government departments and public officers and telling them to vote UNC. What in the dark will come out? So there's something that would have caught people's attention just as swiftly as it has been dealt with, and that had to do with senior citizens pension grant. And there was much concern because of an amendment to that act. And of course, the UNC would have used the opportunity to put it out there to have elderly citizens who are dependent on getting and receiving a senior citizens pension grant, have them frightened. And I must let you know, it's two different pensions we're speaking about. The pension that public officers get at 60 is one that they contribute to. And any workplace that has a pension plan where the employees contribute to, they will be entitled to a pension. The pension that was the topic of debate. The government of Trinidad and Tobago. Sorry about that, people, again. Stay with me. Don't leave. Stay with me, please. Stay with me, please. It's important. Stay with me. I was just going to send a message to you all to say I'm going to restart the line, but it started back. So stay with me. Just have some patience. I'm not gonna stay much longer. So as I was saying again, excuse me, the senior citizens grant is one where persons who attain the age of 65 but may have never worked in a job where there's a pension plan, they never work anywhere. And they are afforded that because the citizens of this country must enjoy the largest of this country at the end of the day, and we must take care of our most vulnerable in our society. The PNM has always done that because they are the one who would have implemented this in the first place, and all the other grants that people receive. I also want to say that the NIS, National Insurance, money that you get every month after you would have made the minimum of 750. Constance, I hope you hear me and I hope I said it right. Once you make a minimum of 750 payments over your work life, you're entitled to a monthly NIS pension. So you pay towards that also. These things are where you contribute towards. If you make over 750, then they will treat with it account. But you could make more than that. If you make less than 750, way less, what I think happens, you get a lump sum because you haven't made the minimum amount to get a monthly NIS pension, right? So those are things I wanted to put there. So the two pensions are different in the sense one is where you contribute to monthly, and there's a plan in place, a pension plan in place at your workplace, and the other one is where you don't contribute like that. But people are saying that even if there's not a pension plan for the elderly at 65, they didn't work. When they buy anything, they spend, they make, they pay taxes, and I hear that. But in the true sense of the word, they have not contributed to a pension plan, and so you get this money, right? So I just want to give a quick history of where it came from because we need to understand who cares and where the human touch comes from. And it certainly is not from the UNC. Certainly is not. So the senior citizen pension, I just look at a small history of it. I hope it opens. Hi Hadara, it says here, this is from the Ministry of Social Development and Family Services page. It says, Senior Citizens Pension. This grants provide financial assistance for eligible older persons in Trinidad and Tobago. It says, who qualifies? Age, pension, 65 years and over, residents. Applicants must be a resident in Trinidad and Tobago for 20 years preceding the date of application. Any period of absence must not total more than 5 years during the 20 years preceding the application, or the applicant must be residing in Trinidad and Tobago and have lived 50 years in total in Trinidad and Tobago. Note well, those 50 years do not need to be consecutive. Income, applicant's monthly income must not exceed 5,500 TT dollars per month. And it goes on to tell you how you can apply. But what I was looking at is when the pension plan was put in place. Let's see if I find this quickly here. I thought I had it saved. When, right. So it says here that in 2001, the senior citizen pension was launched. In 2008, the program was renamed from the old age pension to the senior citizens grant. 2014, the Senior Citizens Pension Act was updated. 2015 to 2020, the number of senior citizen pensioners recipients increased from 86,280 to 104,007. And it says here, again, right, so I read all that already. So this was an initiative of the People's National Movement. Dr. Ike Williams, especially in national insurance, Dr. Ike Williams always saw the need to help the less vulnerable in our society. So amendment was going to be sent to the parliament to be debated on. It came out, Kamala and them had it all over the place, and it spoke something about if a senior citizen, if they have, I think, 25 and they haven't worked anywhere, 65 years old, trying to apply for the grant, if they have $25,000 in their account, that they may not be eligible to get this grant, because this is really for the most vulnerable. And that created a whole firestorm, as it should, because a cap of $25,000, that is, you don't have to be working anywhere, ever work anywhere to save at $25,000. And sometimes the elderly, when they save their money, is always for burial and a little sickness. They don't use that in a day-to-day living. That's just what they put there. So everybody was up in arms and thing. And again, as I say, as they should, whatever. But today, the Attorney General and the Minister of Social Development, Senator Donna Cox, had a press conference. And the Attorney General explained that $25,000 was not something envisioned in anything. And he was not in the country when that was done up and all that. And he takes full responsibility. They are going to pull that back and they're going to treat with it. As he's here now, from what I gathered, right? That he's here now, so he's going to look over that. So they pull it back and they're going to do whatever adjustment. So I want to say again, the People's National Movement always have a history of that human touch in treating and meeting with the issues of the people and helping the less vulnerable. So I was not surprised that they would have done that, especially if it was something that was done that wasn't, I don't know if it's a mistake, I don't know what it was, but on seeing it and probably hearing the cries of the elderly in this country, would have found it necessary to come and reassure their fears and are going to pull back that whole amendment there and treated it as it should be. So I want to congratulate again the People's National Movement, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and the ministers and the Attorney General for swiftly treating with this, because Kamala Prasad Bisesa and them hold on to this, it all out there. People all over town, oh God, they want to take away all people money. Oh God, they're wicked. Oh God, 25. People that don't start to panic. And as I say, I understand the panic. However, the government would have seen that panic and realized that something is amiss. Look at the whole thing, see where the issue was, and they have pulled back that and it's going to be amended. Right, so let me continue. On Monday, a lot of us, on Monday, many of us woke to the horrifying news that Member of Parliament for Davide Omera, oh gosh, rather keep me strong, yes. Mrs. or MP Lisa Morris Julian and her 2 children would have died in a fire at the home. How I get the news about after 6, now saying my prayers, and I get a phone call. The person who called me is not somebody who would call me at that time. And I was like, what happened? And when the person told me, I said, you sure what you're saying? The person said yes. That is how my day started off. I called a few people close to me. I told them I was in a mess because it's like, so Monday I was in no state to have any life or anything like that. And the country continued to mourn. Friends and family still in shock of what happened. We have people coming out and saying the most nasty, insulting, inhumane things. But we have a lot of citizens who are pushing back at them and chastising them for the nastiness they're saying and letting them know this is not politics, this is a human being and two children. Excuse me. And I read some of the comments and I was appalled at the end of the day. Because that's a woman and two children. Forget the fact she's a PNM member of parliament, that's her mother. Her other children would have survived. The husband is in hospital, he was burned badly. And there must be something where you don't cross the line. But apparently there are some in our country, they're so full of hate. And I will say that hate has been fueled by Kamala Prasad, the Cessor. You see, in 2020, I was on social media, and the kind of hate I used to see, the kind of things I was called, and other commoners of mine on social media was called, I've never witnessed or experienced that in my life in living in Trinidad and Tobago. I have grown up in communities with people of Indian descent, and I know how some of them behave, but I've never experienced that level of racism and hate towards me. Kamala Prasad Bissessar said nothing about it. She had ads running where they were showing African people as hungry and vagrants, eating grass, and Indian people helping us. They're giving us banana to eat and all that. She never said anything. And when you give people an inch and you don't check it, people just take a mile. So they continue from that till you reach today. Well, they take the mile. So as I was saying again, the kind of nasty things that you were seeing and still continue to see. But I'm heartened to see how there are plenty of people who are not standing for that. But everything at the end of it, you always have who blaming who blaming who, and who should have, could have, whatever. So this is just resident recounting what would have happened.
Screams from Lisa Morris Julian and her two children continue to haunt neighbors on Farfan Street as they recalled the chilling moments they died in Monday's fire.
Screaming and falling, I hear sometimes she's saying daddy, daddy.
While the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service and the Public Utilities Ministry point fingers at each other, questions continue to linger about what actually transpired. CNC3 News obtained this exclusive CCTV footage, which captured what happened on the morning of December 16th. According to eyewitnesses, the fire started shortly after 5:30 a.m. and began spreading very quickly. By 5:44, the front of the house was engulfed in flames. Taxi drivers nearby were the first on the scene, but there was little they could do as the fire raged. And when attempts were made to alert the fire service, witnesses say they took forever to arrive and there was water in the area. At 5:38 a.m., one neighbor tried to call the fire service's hotline but said there was no answer. At 5:45, she called the Arima fire station and made a report. A minute later, she called TNTech. But despite the fire service claiming it took 11 minutes to arrive at the scene, both the CCTV footage and eyewitnesses show otherwise. At 5:50, the surviving relatives were captured narrowly escaping from the house.
There was no urgency involved. They just took the information and the female secretary said, she said, well, we informed to the responding. If there was a better response on the fire service, even if it was a foot response, we could have saved some lives.
As neighbors continue to grapple with those final tragic moments, Others were trying to hold on to their best memories of Lisa Morris Julian.
It's unbelievable. And everybody in the constituency gravitated to MP Lisa Morris Julian. She was different.
She said, I will be here with you. She said, I will be here with you every step of the way. She said, I will never let you fall. She really never did. Like, she made sure I supported me. She made sure and give me guidance that I will hold for the rest of my life.
Kimberly Fletcher, CNC3 News.
On Neighbor, I saw this also on Right, I saw this also on News Source page, and it seemed to be somebody given an account, and it says, Lisa Morris Julian died a hero. A mutual neighbor and friend who lives nearby yesterday afternoon crying related to me. Lisa was outside with me after the fire started, and then all of a sudden, Lisa disappeared, only to hear her bawling from inside, help, help. I'm assuming she slipped inside to get her children without telling anybody, so she will not be stopped. May they rest in peace.
My boy Joshua coming to NYC.
Right. That there is Minister Camille Robinson Regis. Now, just Sunday, the day before, I understand that MP Morris Julian with her son spent the whole day down at Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis' constituency in a Christmas party or children party or something to that effect. And I think they may have been at the Prime Minister function Christmas party also, I think probably Saturday. Bear in mind also, I think Ms. MP Morris Julian was, I think, the deputy chair, if I'm not mistaken, of the people, PNM Women's League. And from all accounts, she and Minister Camille Robinson Regis were really close. So the reaction we saw there is a friend who is in shock, who on here in the news, so unbelievable, and that's the reaction. And people were responding like that. The Prime Minister spoke about when his wife, he was home lying down, the wife came in and told him what happened, and he was in shock. And like he didn't believe it from what I hear, and the I don't know if he went back to sleep out, but when he opened his eye again, he said he was drenched in tears, he was crying, and so many other persons. Which is understandable for any human being, a human being. And this piece has come. This piece has come on the earth. Listen to him. I don't want all it to forget.
These people have to burn. And that's how you have to say it, you sons of bitches. And Camille Robinson Regis, that deceitful, devious, double-tongued, hypocritical bitch, stand up there holding she belly and bawling. Oh, God! And all I'm thinking in my mind is, you bitch.
I want to play it again.
These people have to burn. And that's how you have to say it, you sons of bitches. And Camille Robinson Regis, that deceitful, devious, double-tongued, hypocritical bitch, stand up there holding she belly and bawling. Oh, God! And all I'm thinking in my mind is, you bitch.
In all the things Philip Alexander said about Kamala Prasad, says he never called she a bitch. This is a situation where people are mourning and crying and hear what this man, this animal, this piece of filth has to say about a woman. So that was say when you give an inch and you don't do anything, people just take a mile. Because when Roland Munila just recently was insulting Madam Camille Robinson Regis about she hair or lack of hair, when Kamala Prasad Bissasa tell her about her slave master name and talking about her hair and what she just do the money and all that, when they continue to call Dr. Rolia Oreo when they continue to call Dr. Rolia Oreo black man, Rawan, he's a rapist, he's a pedophile. The black intellectual in the society ain't saying nothing. They don't find nothing wrong with that. When they say PNM trainers, it don't see true. When they say PNM trainers don't see children, and there's all kind of manner things about us. When Kareem Marcel passed the bar, and his family and friends went out to celebrate, an Indian prominent man in this country belittled and insulted Kareem and his family. Nobody said nothing. The black intellectuals didn't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And today they take a mile again. You tell me this piece has come. This is what he's going to say about a woman in pain. I want to tell Philip Alexander. Spiritually, you will pay a heavy price. My African ancestors will not. Our first people's ancestors will not be kind to you. You can find it in your being to keep that hate out of you just for that time. Just for that moment. But again, all their custom crossing lines And African people in this country don't say nothing. Oh, but when they say that, don't say nothing. When they go low, you go high. But I just say something about somebody Indian descent in this country, all of them just come down, but they could wash their mouth. Let me flip this around now. Imagine this had been something happening in the UNC camp, and anybody from PNM, associated with PNM, come out and say that. The newspapers all about to have it. Everybody, all analysts, this one, that one, and come out and but this dirty, filthy human being, where even his son don't even want to carry his name, feel comfortable and empowered to sit down with a camera in front of him and call a woman, an African woman, who crying for her friend. There's a friend and a colleague. It was not a minister she crying for. All who was crying there wasn't crying for no PNM minister. They was crying for a friend, a mother, a co-worker. That's what they was crying for. And this piece of filth. Watch Miss Camille Robinson genuine cry. You hear that cry come from deep in her belly. And calling she a bitch. And we say no in this country because I say nothing. Roger come out and said nothing, so I had to say he agree. And he said nothing, so I had to say they agree. All who mad Saturday, all them union who mad Saturday, I want to put out the PNM. I want to put in Kamla Pasabi Sasanya, none of them come out and denounce this. So I had to say they agree. All the political parties who went in the meeting, the COP and the this one and this one and whatever, none of them has said nothing, no hope, no COP, nobody. In fact, to me, she more endorsed Philip because she had picture with she and Philip after, so she's saying, go boy, go boy. And you want to tell me in this country, a person of African descent like me, any Tom, Dick and Harry outside my race could run the mouth up on me. I ain't saying all Indian people, so. I'm not saying all Syrian people, or Chinese people. Those who are that, Kamla Prasad says and that ilka them. Something is fundamentally wrong with these people. That today this man, I playing it again, I wanted to sink him on the head. Could tell a woman, Camille Robinson Regis, who crying for a friend. A colleague who died is a shocking thing. She wasn't my friend. She was my member of parliament and I cry. Imagining her trying to save and you hear a neighbor say she went back inside, she came out. But when she probably realized based on what the neighbor said that the little son, 6-year-old son, not 12, she went back inside and the mother would have done that. It is alleged that they find out when the child clutched to her. And this dirty piece of nasty filth. Watching a woman cry for another woman and her children and calling she a bitch. But I want to you, Philip Alexander, spiritually I talking about. I want to let you hear it again.
So these people have to burn. And that's how you have to say it, you sons of bitches. And Camille Robinson Regis, that deceitful, devious, double-tongued, hypocritical bitch, stand up there holding she belly and bawling. Oh, God! And all I'm thinking in my mind is, you're a bitch.
What it is Camille Robinson Regis do to that man? What it is any woman do to that is a man who hates women. That is a man who have no love for no woman. And I'm saying this bold. Probably that's why he can associate with Kamla because she had no children. Unless she could show me she had children, I say she have none. So to me, like them heartless. But 2025, all they come to tell me, but Rowley just talk hard to the reporters. I hear one on radio yesterday around how look how he talked to the reporters. I talked to the reporters. He had and he rough and all can tell me all them foolishness next year, God spare. This man, he vying to go into government to go into the parliament. This filth, this piece of filth. And when I think about he and Roberts, Nakir, Munilal, and the list goes on and on. These are the people who want to go in the parliament. Yeah? When in a situation where people mourning, they mourning a minister, they mourning a woman and children, this piece of filth. What happened, Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis? That's a woman. You come from a woman. Allow her to grieve. That was her friend. She wasn't your friend. That wasn't your friend, Philip Alexander. It's not your friend. You don't know how she feels. Don't know she being hypocritical. You don't know. Because she wasn't my friend and I feel it. I'm still feeling it. And plenty of people, she wasn't their friend either. But I feel it because I understand the significance of what happened is a mother and 2 children died tragically in a fire. And then when you hear the kind of person that she was, loved. 2025. 2025. All they allow these pieces of filth to come in by saying I ain't voting. I'm on the fence. I don't like Dr. Rowley. He rough. I don't like what he's saying. The Tobago airport. Look, we hear it a course overrun, as if course overrun means corruption. And this thing, and look what they do, they give me 4%. What is the union role in we getting 4%? All they do ask them thing. Go vote. Go vote them. Go vote them. And when they see us crying because we're in pain, they will laugh and spit on me. Let me play it again. Miss Camille Robinson Regis. $2025, well, it's still on only house and no. My apologies. Sorry about that. If we allow these people to come back into office, I want to only hit one more time. I want to register. I wanted to register. If all they feel people like them like we, they don't like.
These people have to burn. And that's how you have to say it, you sons of bitches. And Camille Robinson Regis, that deceitful, devious, double-tongued, hypocritical bitch, stand there holding she belly and bawling. Oh, God! And all I think in my mind is, you bitch.
That is who Kamla Prasad Bisesa associates herself with. I just want to read this. I wrote this. You all know I was right now. I was right now. I was writing my pieces and it moved me, and it was going one way and then it went to this. This, as I send condolences to the family of the late Lisa Morris Julian and her 2 children, the We Talk D Ting family. We feel the pain. We may not fully understand the pain, but we feel the pain. And we send all our love coming from me to the family. This is what I wrote. I saw a woman cry. She threw back her face to the sky. Why did she have to die? Please, Papa God, can you tell me why? When a woman cry, it touches your heart, your soul, in places you never expect. These are the moments in life when things happen that you could never forget. This is one such occasion that will play in my mind over and over. One of these sadness and regret. She cried for her friend's tragic past in the circumstances most heart-wrenching, especially with 2 children, which is even more heartbreaking. Her friend and her colleague, personally, I did not know, but professionally, her friend's work spoke for her. One that was most commendable, that the books will give testimony and show. It's all about her friend Lisa, she shared with us as she cried. Her deep pain was for what we would have all lost. A friend, a family, a heart filled with humility and all humanity. Let us remember.
Like a rainbow fading in the twinkling of an eye.
Let us remember her friend Lisa, her grace, her smiling face, her love, her passion, her dedication to her community and to this nation. And as we say, rest in eternal peace to her and her 2 children. Gone too soon, you will certainly not be forgotten.
Like a rainbow
MP Mrs. Lisa Morris Julian. Joel, Alicia, Andel, Andrew, Lucy, Carol, Leslie, Donna, Tessa, Gerald, Angela, Roxanne, Anne-Marie, Angela, Carol, Ricardo, Jonathan, Margaret, Judy, Ezra, Melka, Roslyn, Brian, Phyllis, Verlene, Christopher, Kenneth, Hazelan, Nadia, Jennifer, Martha, Margaret, June, Katiana, Joycelyn, Adara, Marie, Carolyn, Joya, Joyda, Emmeline, Melly, Sarah, Gloria, Lisha. Let us don't forget humanity. Let us don't forget to love. But let us also remember those who hate us. Because that man who spoke there, he hates us. Don't forget who hates us. And in 2025, vote for people who have a love for humanity, have a love for people, and that is not the UNC. No matter what incarnation they come with, it's not them. Because no political leader will allow somebody who she now saying they're joining coalition with to say that, and they come out today or yesterday and denounce that. A man who wants to be a big partnership party because he come out with his political party. She'll come out and denounce that, so she put her signature on it. They don't like us. Some of Some of them don't like us, and we have to be real. That is why I agree with Neil Passana when he said the conversation with race relations has to start. Remember how they believe when the library was built in La Hockett, a place that is predominantly people of African descent. Remember the things they said that led him to say that? The time for that conversation must start. We can't continue so. This Philip Alexander has pushed hate for people of African descent. Kamla Persad-Bissessar has pushed hate for people of African descent. That is why they could be under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the Roger and the Anisette and the Abdullah, and them from COP. And all them who rush in to join in coalition with she, them Africans and them empty cans and them. Them is not house slave, you know, they call them we house slave. Them is house N. I prefer to be a house slave than to be a house N. Because a slave was still trying to run. A slave was still trying to get freedom. But it's them N and them used to sell we out. Because they believe what the slave master said when he tell them there's an N. They believe it. We house slave, we stay house slave. We went and get free. We didn't say master sick, we sick. We didn't cry and say, master, you're going to sell us today. We wasn't doing that. We were planning to get out of it. We plant our hair in cane rows to show the escape routes. We put the fruits in our hair, the seeds in our hair to keep us, give us sustenance. But as them house and them used to sell we out. Like Roger, Anisette, Abdullah, Leroy Batiste, Watson Solomon Duke, Fadi Chavez Augustine. All of them is house ends. They sell we out for what? For people who don't love we, because them people ain't even love themselves. And again, I say it's not all people of Indian descent like that. Not all people of Syrian or Chinese descent like that understand the context in which I speak. I'm talking about them in the UNC. Them different. Different. 2025 only have a choice. Either you go for the human touch, a party that understands the needs of the people. No minister will ever dare come and talk about another member or human being the way that Philip Alexander, who wanted to be a part of the UNC, would have spoken, and not have the political leader, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, denounce that person would be gone today. But it's okay in the UNC because Jack Warner told us how they speak about African people in the UNC. Matt David told us how they speak about people in the UNC. How they speak about African people. We heard it. A man come on the radio and tell Ms. Davy, I'm sure if I call her out, she could support it. I'm not going to call the man name. And he say, one of them Indian leaders in the UNC point at Jolene John and say, if it tells she leave what she doing and go and clean the toilet, she go and clean it. So play all you don't know. This is not no race talk, this is real talk. This is real talk. Don't let them make you feel guilty to say I talk in race. This is real talk. They have a man today, after watching an African woman in pain, after watching a woman in pain, and called she a deceitful bitch. That is where we reach to. That is who want to come back into office in 2025. All they seeing all the signs, all they getting all the warning. Don't take what they could see, what they could see in the day to go and look for it in the night. You know? Because war will be with portion and with generation will never, ever forgive me. And you see me, I want my path to be clear. Know the assignment come 2025. And this piece of garbage, this piece of filth with all those who stay silent, as he says, must never be allowed to be in the parliament of this country. You all have a blessed night. I don't think I could continue much more again because I'll be just having to blow my nose and like I had the I love you all. I love you all. I love you all, and see you all on Friday Gospel when I come with something for something new. This is Girl Ginger and Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. Before they get formed, Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition of We Talk D Ting. Know the assignment. Come 2025. Not everybody like them, but you have to call them out when you see them. Because if we do, they will keep on taking a mile. They'll keep on crossing lines that not supposed to be crossed. We can't stay silent no more. But there's an Indian, a Chinese, a Syrian, whoever, you can't stay silent no more. You can't do it, you cannot. Because to stay silent meaning you agree with everything Philip Alexander said. To stay silent meaning you agree with Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. To stay silent means that you agree with a corrupted government to get back in office. Everybody says so, not we. So your silence means agreement. You can't get away from this one. This one, Philip Alexander has crossed the line, and my African ancestors. We ancestors, the first people's ancestors, will not deal with him kindly. I'm talking spiritually here. A little go and say, I say nothing, no physical, nothing. I talk about spiritual. There's a spiritual price to pay. When you see an African woman bawl so from she belly and telling she's deceitful and that she's a bitch, it have a price to pay for that. I tell all, don't let women tears fall and all you. Don't let people tears fall and all you. Don't let Mama Africa tears fall and all. There's an African woman. She represents Africa the way. Natural woman. And that's what you say, Philip Alexander, we would have never. If it's something happening in the Indian community of UNC, that happened, ever think of saying that. But all they feel all they could wash all them out on African people, because some of your own African intellectuals, who I calling them HN now, House N, sit back quiet and don't have a problem with these things. You hear none of them come out and denounce it. Who denounce it? It's people like we on the ground who doing social media, Darian Marcel, Eric, Julia Davy, all who calling on the radio. And you all learn all their voices, stay voice. So don't stay silent. Do not stay silent. Women, don't stay silent. Women in the union movement, don't stay silent. Already say 1 out of 3 women in the union movement is abuse or face abuse. Don't stay silent. Stop staying silent while men like Philip Alexander and Roger and Baptiste and Abdullah and Anisette and who from COP and who from this and who from that continue to behave the way they do and get a free pass. People, I love you all. I go and see you all on Friday, God's will. Bye.